Here is a ranked match as the Power Shiro Renegade. The role of it is more of a DPS, though it can play as a roamer because of the Shiro stance gives you the portability, which can allow you to snowball winning fights, but you kind of have to win those fights first, so it's first and foremost a DPS. So we're going to head into the mid node because that's what a DPS usually does, and we're going to try to interfere with the far push here from the enemy team. So the comps immediately tell us that this is going to be like a 2-point comp match because we have a support and they don't. So we want to play as few nodes as possible and they want to play split as possible so that they can split our support away from getting as much value as possible. So we are kind of like 3 or 4 here, and we're just pressuring as many people as we can here. But yeah, their team pushed into our home, we couldn't really stop them, and now my support really needs to head into home, so they're gonna do that, and I'm gonna be left here with the prot hollow. So I'm basically playing the role of a duelist here because our ranger's holding home and then the team fight erupted there, so they're kind of stuck there. So it's not ideal for me to be dueling here, but really honestly this build isn't terrible at dueling. So I'm just gonna put down like my road on the node, and that's gonna give out weakness, which is really strong, and stability, which is gonna prevent me from getting CC'd. So yeah, it's just an overall kind of like overpowered build. I'm gonna say it's pretty overpowered, so you can just do multiple roles with it really. But the Deadeye arrives, and so does my support, which is really nice because that means that I can get the Earth Shield pickup here, which allows me to actually get the kill on their hollow. So my support arrives as fast as their Deadeye did, which is really convenient for me because usually that's not like something that you're going to be afforded, right? The Tempest or support is going to be staying in those team fights. So that's pretty fortunate for us. We did get another kill on their Rev, and they're respawning and coming in to contest mid. So now I'm forced into another 1v1, but this is not really a duelist. So this is like a roamer or like a DPS 1v1 going on right here. So I put down the Inspiring Reinforcement, which gives out weakness. They cleanse it. So I'm going to just try to defend the node here and sort of be like the mid anchor. Like I'm not dueling on mid necessarily, but I'm just kind of like holding down the node and trying to prevent as many people as possible from getting through to our home node. So I do a really good job of surviving there and regrouping with my team, because if I had died there, that would mean that any kind of like one fight that we just did at home would just be lost, because then we would lose mid and then we'd have to regroup at home, and then we would get, we'd have to keep team fighting at home. So we pushed out of home, and I survived long enough that they can actually push out of home. So this is good. Now I'm going to cap mid again because, yeah, I'm going to be the kind of like a mid anchor, as I said, and just keep capping the node. DPS are actually not too bad at capping nodes because they can usually finish off the last person that, needs to be killed in a team fight. And so generally they're the last ones to leave anyways. So yeah, I'm forced into a 1v1 here with a Chaos Mirage and a Prot Hollow, so it's like both really tanky things that I can't really pressure. And my support Tempest is here, so I want to peel for them. I have a lot of stability, which is really good, but this is kind of an awkward 2v2, even though we technically are favored to win it. They are just like two duelists, and we're not really ever gonna kill one because they're just gonna disengage. But we may gain the node, so we're just going to take this fight. Our team is being forced to take the team fight at home, but it's not a bad team fight there to take. And yeah, as you can see here, the best way to really take this fight, where they have all these different like NPCs from the Mesmer just spamming, is to basically just spam out the the hammers, because that'll just give me the most amount of healing and damage. So yeah, just throwing out AoE damage on the node. They're trying to CC spam me, and it looks like, yeah, their Reaper has shown up. So we're in like a 2v3 now, so I'm trying to really peel for my Tempest here. I CC the Reaper, and yeah, we're just gonna get off the node, give it up, while our team 3v2s home, And even though, you know, it's not ideal for us to be giving up the node like that, it's even less ideal if we stay on the node and die. So it's all about decision making of what is the best play, not what is the ideal play. Because if I had made the ideal play, then it would be that our team actually doesn't, you know, 3v2 home. So, you know, but I can't change what they do. I can only change what I do. So in that case, the best play was to give up the node, right? And to not die. So it was the ideal, not ideal, but the best play, you know? So surviving there is good. And yeah, we're still kind of like waiting for that moment where we can get kills here. Like we go on the Reaper here. That's another kind of thing on that topic of making the best play. If you make a play that isn't ideal, so say like your team is losing, for example, and you, instead of going for like a cap, you just go and regroup with your team and prevent them from dying. Well, yeah, you're not really winning the game by doing that, but you're also slowing down the way that your team is losing it, and then potentially at a later time in the match, your team will allow you to make the winning plays, right? So it's all about that waiting for the right moment to snowball or to start winning. And that's really what's gonna make the difference between a good player and a bad player, is knowing when to survive and when to be aggressive, right? So that actually works out here, because now we've actually got mid and we've split their team, and now we just kind of want to watch mid. But I see that our thief is fighting, I believe, a Rev in Rhodes, so I do want to go there. My Tempest and Ranger are in a 2v2 at far. Ideally, I would go there actually instead of this +1 in Rhodes, but I figure that the node that we already own is more important than the node that we can potentially win. So yeah, I don't go into far. I think that it's probably better that our Ranger just held a 1v2. So yeah, our Tempest went for the buff, and they're going to regroup at mid with me, and we're going to hold this node. Looks like we lost home as well, but I mean, we're just going to hold this now because there's nothing we can do to save those players at home. So the Reaper is going to take me in a 1v1 here, which is not a good 1v1 for me, but it's definitely doable for me. I can definitely do it. I just need to be really careful, because unlike with the Prot Hollow, where if I get +1, it can, you know, I can be okay. If I get +1 by the Deadeye like I am right now, it's super dangerous. So, and yeah, here you can see I also have the Herald on me, and my support arrives, which is nice, but it's going to be very dangerous to survive here. I get the knock, and I self-res so that I can get glyphed here, which is super good, because we've actually held the node in a 2v3 here, which is going to allow our team to win the rest of the map and get us a lot of value. And as you can see here, right, like our team arrives, we survived instead of being greedy, and it's actually giving us a lot of payout here on that. Support does go down. I landed right good Jade Winds, and I think they rally or something, or they had the buff, right? They had the buff, so they're going to be rallied by the buff, which is nice. So I'm just going to auto attack and press W on this Reaper. We get the kill there, which is nice. And I put stability on the node so we can fight around the node. Our support is pretty low, which is concerning. I would honestly prefer that they had survived instead of playing so aggressively here. But yeah, we're just in a 3v2 situation, I think, at this point. So I'm going to leave that fight, and I'm going to head into this kind of like 2v2 here with my Thief and the enemy Deadeye. I put out the stability just in case the Mesmer wants to spam interrupts on us. But yeah, the Deadeye just stole to me, and I try to land a... Yeah, they just actually stole stability from me, which actually prevented them from getting taunted. So yeah, we're going to swap target to the Deadeye here. We actually get a really good Jade Winds on them, and they have no cooldowns. Except for, okay, they have their Dagger Storm. The support arrives, so now that I'm being outnumbered here, we're also getting supported. And I'm just trying to survive. I see that their Deadeye has gone down, so I really need to go for the help on that cleave over there, so I swap into Jade wins that, and they disengage. So yeah, we get the kill on their Deadeye, and we're just gonna keep pressuring the target. Our thief goes down, and the Rev had the buff there, so I went for the res, but we didn't have enough res power, and we couldn't get a rally in time, so they actually get stomped out. So kind of unfortunate, but we're gonna keep just snowballing out of here. We've actually got decaps around the map, so it's not too bad that we're taking too much time in this kind of team fight here, and because we're ahead as well, so just keeping the status quo is actually good for us. And I'm going to get the stability stomp here, and just going to cap mid, play as the anchor. I see that our ranger has actually died at far, so I'm going to be very outnumbered here very soon. I see the stealth from the Deadeye, so I prepare for that by line of sighting. I actually get a taunt there, which is going to prevent them from, yeah, actually signal on the map to my team that the Deadeye is coming there, so I let them know that it's potentially better to go there than to at mid. And then it looks like they actually don't want to go in there for whatever reason. Yeah, because there's going to be 2 respawners here. So I'm going to try to prevent the node from being decapped. But now my support goes into home, so I'm outnumbered, so we have to give it up anyways. And this basically means to me that I should have went into home anyways. So I made a misplay here, though I didn't really have full knowledge of what the situation would be. So you could argue it's hindsight, but yeah, this is now a bad situation, and I'm just trying to survive, really. I'm putting down my slow field, and I'm blocking and just using the terrain here to get as much height as possible to avoid being killed. And now, yeah, as you can see, against Mesmers, Renegade is sort of countered, but really not that countered, because I can just use like the hammers there and just channel that and not cast any other skills, and I'm healing way more than they're doing damage, and I don't have to cast anything to, you know, proc all their confusion. So it's a pretty good spec, right? Like, you just get so much sustain for just holding down your hammers. Here I am going to try to, yeah, I don't really see a target there, so I port back on the Reaper, and they're going to go into their shroud, so I need to be very careful here. I've also got the Mesmer on me, so I'm blocking. I'm kiting using the terrain. I'm getting supported, but I am pretty low, so I'm going to play a little bit safely here. I'm staying off to the side and just waiting for my cooldowns here. They go into shroud again, so I'm using my dodges here. The Rev is now on me too, and I have to really survive this. I get a really nice knockdown, which prevents me from dying, and I'm going to have to put down inspiring reinforcements. And I'm getting really CC'd here, even though I had the stability pulsing. I get revived by the glyph, and I just continue kiting here. So I see now that I'm sort of okay here. My Tempest is actually under a lot of pressure. I get the Jade Winds, and I'm going to try for a res, but as soon as I see a Reaper and a Herald are cleaving it, I know that there's no way to get that res. So I swap to counter cleaving, and now, yeah, I'm going for a really good CC burst there. I get Jade Winded, but my hammers are actually peeling for me quite a bit, and I'm going to go aggressive now on the kill, porting in, and they're line of sighting, so I'm going to put down my AoE on the line of sight there, and at this point the game is over. So yeah, that is how you play the Shiro Renegade. You want to be playing as a DPS, just getting kills for your team. Don't worry too much about the rotations, just go where your team is needed. And that's pretty much it. So like the video, subscribe, and click the links down below, and I will see you guys next time.